This is why I love you. Ooh.
This is why I love you.
Because you love me. I guess. I don't know what he be saying.
Me neither.
What's up?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Welcome to another episode, a mini episode.
Yes.
Of the Black Wedding Podcast.
By Hue I Do.
I'm your girl, Ashleigh.
And I'm your girl, Toniah.
And,
we are here, of course, like Ashleigh said, with the mini episode.
Yes.
We will be discussing engagement rings.
We are. But not as you might be thinking. Or I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what you be thinking.
Exactly. I know when Ashleigh brought up this topic, I was like, girl, I'm not engaged yet. So when she explained exactly what she wanted to talk about or discuss, I was like, okay, all right. I guess I have something to say about it as well.
I am here today because I feel like we all need to have a truthful conversation with ourselves, right? We're adult women. Unless you're a guy listening, then I would assume you are an adult man, right? But basically, we need to come to a realization that we are not here to impress anybody. Our relationships are
not based on the ring.
Well, yeah, but I was trying to get to that. But realistically, we as women have put unrealistic expectations and standards on ourselves because of what we've seen on TV, what we might have seen on Instagram, what we've known growing up. The purpose, or what I want to really speak about today, is how we've all had unrealistic expectations, goals, standards for engagement rings our entire lives. And it's not even just standards or expectations. It is also, we have made one thing the standard in the expectation, or the, ooh, that is a good ring. Kind of like with, okay, you remember a few years ago, Chris Rock did that documentary called Good Hair, where he was talking about the silkier, straighter hair that's, closer to like what white hair, Caucasian hair, whatever, that was always good hair for us. We've essentially come up with good ring. Good ring just means big. Big center stone. Big diamond, right? That has always been acceptable. So when you're younger, maybe if you're on Pinterest, you see, or on Instagram or whatever, you see these different little rings or different rings or whatever, and you see something that might be a cluster, or you see a ring that might have a smaller center stone, or it looks like there's... we just have come to a place where we're judging other people's jewelry, but really what that implies is we're judging someone else's relationship based on the symbol of love that their fiance has given to them. So, because it doesn't meet the standard that you were brought up on, it's not acceptable, right? So diamonds as a concept, or not a concept, but like as an engagement ring, that was a trend that came up, I want to say in the 80s. Like, it hasn't always been the norm, like people weren't always wearing engagement rings with huge diamonds. Like, that was a marketing ploy from one of these jewelry companies back in the day. And it's basically taken form to the point where people feel like they have to have a diamond and it has to be huge. No, it doesn't have to be. As long as you like and love and are completely enamored with the person that gave you the piece of jewelry, it doesn't really matter what that piece of jewelry is. Honestly, we really don't even need a piece of jewelry to be engaged, but we like it, you know. There's
Yeah.
still part of us that wants to kind of like flash something off, kind of show folks like, look, ooh, I got a ring, which also I guess means I got a man, which means, oh, I'm getting married. Oh, all that stuff. And whatever. It's fine. But I think I'm just like, I'm tired of people feeling like they can't show off the ring that their man gave them or their significant other has given to them because it doesn't meet the standards of Instagram or the standards that we've grown up to know. You know, like it's trash to me. Your ring is your ring. Your engagement ring is your engagement ring. You can go as alternative as you want. You can go as traditional as you want. It is your ring. Did I pay for it? Mm-mm. Did you? Mm-mm. So it don't matter. It don't matter what the trends are. It don't matter what people saying. Susan Kelechi Watson from This Is Us got engaged last month. And I want to say her ring is like sapphire. Yeah, 3-carat sapphire ring. So they're estimating it's between 10 to 20,000. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Why are we like? Who cares how
It
much?
doesn't matter.
It don't. That's the whole point. It doesn't matter how much somebody spent because you could spend $30,000 on a ring and be flashy and show it off to everybody, but he could still be paying on it 7 years after y'all been married. So is that the, you know, like what's
Like,
the,
are we really putting ourselves in debt?
right over you to be able to stunt? On the flip side of things, you don't have to get a diamond, and you can have that same aesthetic for 3-4 times cheaper. Like you could get a white sapphire. You can get morganite. You could get moissanite. You can get, I think, white topaz. There's so many other stones that are just as beautiful.
Yeah.
Pink, yellow diamonds. Just because a center stone has a color doesn't mean it's a diamond. You could get a vintage diamond. Vintage diamonds are generally colored M, K, L, all of the further back color specifications because they're older. Because diamonds back then weren't made with the same type of clarity and clearness diamonds now. But it might be a beautiful cut, might be a beautiful setting. But if that's what you want, that's what you should have. And you should be able to flash it as much as you want. Not in a way that's kind of like quick and fleeting and then you hide your hand. Or something where you kind of fidget with your ring finger, but you kind of tuck it away because you don't want people to focus. Who cares? You still planning your wedding, right? You still get married, right?
You
still
got a man, right?
If that is the thing, and there's, I think, even a deeper level there where we put too much placement on being in a relationship / being single. There's nothing wrong with being single. I'm just here for no more engagement ring shaming. Now, I will say, the only kind of like mild judgment I do is when they be giving you the wedding band with the engagement ring. But listen, okay, that's just the oversight. That's sometimes the etiquette thing. And sometimes people just don't know. That's it. They bought the set. Like, they didn't know one part is for the wedding day and the other part is to be worn now. But it's good. It's complimentary. And that's, you know, and by complimentary, I mean it's a band that complements the ring. But yeah, I mean, how you feel?
Again, as I said it before, I'm not engaged. Granted, I am in a relationship, and I was in a longer relationship where I thought that I would be engaged. And so, of course, during that time period, you know, I was looking at rings and I didn't really research it in depth. Did I have a budget for him, or did we talk about budget? No. Am I talking about a budget now with my now boyfriend? No. But at this point, or at this time in my life, I'm just like, the fact that he wants to marry me is a blessing.
Right.
And then also the fact that he wants to invest in a piece of jewelry for me
Right.
is also a blessing, because there are plenty of people out there who don't have the funds to actually purchase a ring.
Right.
Like for their significant other. As
Yeah.
much as they want to purchase something, they don't have the means to do so.
Exactly.
Right now, it doesn't really matter to me. When I was younger, I was like, oh, my future husband's going to spend $5,000, $10,000 on my ring, but now I'm an adult, as you were saying before. We have responsibilities. We have student loan debt. We want to buy a house.
Right.
Or we're already in a house. We want to buy a new car. Or we have to maintain a car that we have. Or, we have to put food on the table.
Right.
Buy clothes. There's so many other important things that we have to focus on than the ring. Granted, yes, the ring is important and
Right.
is definitely there for, I don't want to say fashion, but
It's a symbol.
yeah, it's a symbol, but I don't think you should say it's a symbol of love, or
Right.
it shouldn't.
Like, there shouldn't be a direct correlation with what that ring looks like in terms of general aesthetics based on the societal acceptances. And that should not be tied to how much he loves you or doesn't love you.
Yes.
Because I think, and I know there are certain relationships where, yes, an engagement ring is a Band-Aid. And it's probably a relationship that shouldn't have happened to begin with. But I really do believe that if he got you an engagement ring, that in itself is just a huge sign of commitment and love within itself. The act of this. And I'm not saying by all means settle. Like, if a guy gives you a piece of jewelry that is not a piece of jewelry that you would wear, that has bigger implications that he's not paying attention to you in your relationship. That's a whole different conversation. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the fact that when you are younger, growing up, and everybody's hand sizes are different. So whatever ring you see online and, oh, that's a big ring, you don't really know the size or the carat weight. You don't know what the carat is of that particular piece of jewelry because it's not on your hand and you don't know her hand, her ring size. You don't know those details, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what that ring size or that ring would look like on your finger. So that's one thing. Once you get past that, growing up, I feel like the standard was always like 1 carat. There was something about 1 carat. I feel like that was always the thing. When you get older, a lot of people aren't, some people, I'm not going to say a lot of people aren't doing 1 carat. People are still doing 1 carat rings.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are doing 2, 2.5, 3 plus carat rings. That then becomes expensive.
Yeah.
Because if you were getting, say, a 2 carat diamond, diamond, not ring, the stone itself, you still need to buy the band. Depending on clarity, depending on cut, depending on color, that could be $11,000, $12,000. And that's on the kind of side of things. Kind of cloudy or not as aesthetically pleasing as one would want. On the high end of things, that could be a $22,000 stone, depending on where you get it from. And granted, yes, they're wholesalers. You can go to like the America's Mart or the whatever, like your local area retailer, wholesaler or whatever, and get maybe a $15,000 diamond, maybe for $12,000 or $10,000 or $9,000. Who knows, right? But the reality is that ring that you saw online or you thought you saw online is not as cheap as you thought it would be. And the whole, oh, well, he should spend so much of his salary. Girl.
I was reading an article on the New York Times, and it's titled 3 months salary for an engagement ring, question mark. For most people, it's more like 2 weeks.
That's real.
And when I read that, I was like, you know what? They might be right.
That's real.
You know, because they were saying that the average American spends $500 to $3,000 on engagement rings.
And that is probably not even thinking about Black people. Realistically.
Yeah.
Because I feel, and this is just based on noticing the difference in like white women that are married versus Black women our age that are married. White women that are married, that are in our age range, if they got married within the last 5-10 years, that means they were in their early 20s, maybe mid 20s when they got married. They have an engagement ring that by Black standards, or the quote unquote like beauty standards of a ring, it would be small, it would be dainty, it wouldn't be like something you would feel like, oh, you need to flash or, you know, do a lot over.
Yeah.
And that's because, well, my assumption is it's because they're spending money on a house, on other things that have more longevity, right? Like, this is just a symbol. It doesn't mean anything. Unless you're a huge jewelry person, and I mean, you can always have that upgrade conversation later, where you could get upgraded, but that's not a big deal. But I feel like our age, there's so much weight and pressure on, you have to have this big old diamond, and it gotta take up the size of your finger, and you gotta do all this. Like, I remember when I posted that we were engaged, you couldn't see the ring up close. You couldn't even really see the shape, in my opinion. But people were already like, ooh, he did good. How you know? You literally cannot see what my ring looks like. But you are assuming because of the size of my center stone.
Yeah.
So you see, oh, that photographs well, quote unquote, right? So automatically, he did good. He did good. Oh, we had a serious conversation because when I started looking at diamonds, and I mean, I had done it before, but when I started looking at like rings and stones and all of that, I did not realize how much it costs, in all honesty. And I knew in my heart of hearts that it did not make sense for me to ask my fiance, or, you know, at the time, my boyfriend, to spend a ridiculous amount of money on something where we still had other finances and other purchases, major purchases to take place afterwards, but also something that would drain maybe significantly, or, you know, put a dent in savings. Like, it doesn't make sense for you to have $2,000 left in your savings account because you just spent your last like 20 something thousand or 15,000 on a ring. That's stupid to me. And that's not love. Like, if you love someone, it's the whole, really the ask of like going to that next step. It's those conversations you're having before you get engaged, because you know that at that point you two are on that same wavelength of like wanting to put your relationship on that next level. Like, you don't just pop out of the blue and then you're engaged. You've been having certain type of conversations like that beforehand. So both of you have to know that, okay, we are at this stage in our relationship. The timing of when it might occur might differ because he might want to throw you off. But at the same time, like, you both know y'all are having conversations about being husband and wife. And I'm talking about, of course, heterosexual couples. But basically, like, you two are talking about, we are on the same wavelength. We want to now take our relationship to that next level.
Yeah.
It, at that point, should only be about you and him. It should not be about you having something that will impress so-and-so who likes every other photo that you post on Instagram. Because she does not matter. He does not matter. Whether it's your ex that's trying to keep tabs on you and have something to say.
Ooh, girl, they out there.
Because I feel like they,
They out there.
or the person who's just casually like looking through your timeline, or
You always have those haters, So.
yeah, it's always going to be someone that says something, and it's
Yeah.
like, it's really not about them. Love your ring just as much, or actually not just as much, you should love it less than the person that gave it to you. But it should also be something that you're proud of, the symbol of what that means.
Yes.
Not, because it's not a 5-carat ring or a Kim Kardashian.
It's not Jacob the jeweler.
R-
I was listening.
Girl, are they even doing that anymore?
I don't think so. Well, I'm not quite sure because
I think he is still around.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm definitely.
Yeah, New York jeweler.
Yeah, I'm definitely sure he's still around. But I was listening to T.I.'s podcast expeditiously.
I just heard that he has one a few days ago.
Yeah, him and Nick Cannon were actually having a discussion about his wedding, and he was saying that Mariah Carey's ring, of course, he got it from Jacob the jeweler. I think he said he spent like $200,000 on the ring, but
for a relationship that didn't last.
True. But I think she gave him back the ring. It was either Mariah or whoever he proposed to before, which I didn't even know that he was engaged before.
He was engaged to. I can't think of her
Not
name.
Christina Milian.
She was a Victoria's Secret model, and she was on an episode of The Game.
Okay.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah, but basically,
We know her, though.
whoever he was engaged to previously gave the ring back to him. He even said it himself.
Salida Ebanks.
Oh, okay. Oh, I definitely forgot about that relationship.
Yeah, that was like in 2007.
Gotcha. Okay. So he even said it himself that he was getting pressure from everyone, not just from everyone, but then also Mariah was like, I saw that ring that you gave her. You're going to have to do better than that.
Of course.
So even though, he has the money to spend, but she was expecting something better than the last ring that he gave to the last girl.
Yeah.
And in this article, they point out that Cardi B received an engagement ring from Offset, and it's worth $500,000.
And he's cheating on her, allegedly.
Girl.
So it's like, and not to say that big rings are associated with like failed relationships, but okay, he can give you a 1.25 carat ring, and y'all could be together. But it doesn't define
a relationship.
Yeah, y'all could be together throughout the rest of the time. Like, I have coworkers that don't even wear their like wedding or engagement rings. They wear like the little athletic one.
Yeah.
Like the little silicone type of band.
Yeah.
That's their like go-to, because it's just like, it's a symbol to show, yes, I am still married or still like in a relationship. But it don't matter. Like, all this trying to compare it to the next person is ridiculous. And the true tea is all the stuff like, oh, you see that big old ring and you're like, ooh, that's beautiful. Ooh, he did. You don't know how much he spent? Because you don't know if that's a diamond or not.
Exactly.
That's the gag. Like, that's the get you. It might not be a diamond. That thing could have been a white sapphire.
True.
He could have spent $3,000 on a ring that you think costs $30,000. I get served these ads, and part of it is because I've been like, we've had this conversation a few weeks ago. So I started doing research, like looking up, because I mean, listen, these jewelry companies are all over Instagram. There's this one jeweler in particular, I can't remember the name. They sell these rings for $99 that look like diamond rings.
Really?
Yes. If it pops up again, I will share it with you. Like big old rings, like big. And I'm sure in person it might look a little different, but based on the videos in these ads,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this look like a 3.5 carat ring, a 4 carat ring. But also, okay, let's scale it back a little bit. We also got to think about, really, as adults, what do we do professionally that we could wear something that holds so much weight?
Exactly.
Do you want to go on your honeymoon and get robbed like Kim did last year? Or 2 years ago, or however long it was when she got robbed and
True, but
Kanye had to leave that concert.
Yeah, we all don't have Kim K money or Kanye money. But I understand
Yeah.
because one of my friends slash coworkers, her husband bought her, a beautiful ring. Clarity, oh my gosh, on this ring. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Not quite sure how much he spent on it, but I'm pretty sure he spent, a good bit of money on it. However, she does not wear that ring to work.
See?
Whenever she goes out of the country, she does not wear it at all. Instead, she actually bought what is it called? A Swarovski ring?
Swarovski.
Am I saying
Like
that?
like the Swarovski crystal?
Maybe it's not the Swarovski crystal.
It's something.
Crystal. What's the other, dang it. I'm so unprepared.
Like Verragio, Tacori.
No, it's a jewelry store in the mall, and
Like K?
no, not K.
Goldberg or something.
Dang it. It's like on the
Hazelberg.
tip of my tongue.
Tiffany?
No, not Tiffany's.
Shane's? Jarrett?
Mm-mm.
Every kiss begins with... Well,
Every
you said
kiss
one.
begins with but I know it's a Swarovski ring. Dude, let me actually look this up.
Oh. Is it the one where the chocolate ring?
Mm-mm.
Never mind. Jewelers. Jewelry companies. We're Googling. Shane, K, Jarrett, Zales.
No, I really think it's a Swarovski ring. It's a crystal ring.
It's a crystal?
Yeah, like it did not cost a lot, but it looks...
Not a diamond ring, a crystal ring.
Yes, a crystal ring.
Oh,
But basically,
seen a lot of them.
so she wears that, and the ring is still beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, she wears that to work, and if she goes out of the country or she travels, and she keeps her real ring in a safe, So, like, unless you knew her or had that discussion with her, you would never know. Even in that situation, people aren't wearing their actual diamond rings. And I know in the medical field, a lot of nurses and, the physicians, I think if I can remember correctly, they wore their rings. But a lot of nurses, a lot of techs that are on the floor, a lot of people in management, they don't wear their rings. And if they are wearing a ring, they wear...
Like the band?
Yeah, like the little band. Or they wear the silicone band. That was pretty much popular when it came out. Like, everyone was buying that ring, because the ring is only like $20 or like $30.
Oh, yeah. You get real cheap on Amazon.
Exactly.
In different colors, all that. Right.
So, even in the medical field, people aren't wearing their actual rings.
It's really no need to impress anyone. When Ed and I had that conversation about, okay, the realisticness of an engagement ring, wedding ring, what that looked like, it really boiled down to, like, look, it's what I would want. It's what's beautiful for me. And beauty doesn't have to be a diamond. Point blank, period.
The end. We can end this episode right now.
Yeah, but I have friends that have I hate that the phrase for it is alternative engagement rings. It shouldn't be an alternative. It is an engagement ring. there's nothing alternative about it except for the fact that it might not be a diamond, or it might not be a white diamond or a clear diamond, right? But listen, what you have with your significant other, if it truly on a genuine level got to that point, should be for you and him and nobody else. How he proposed to you should be perfect in how you wanted it. Should also be true to the both of you, not just one side. And the same with your ring. Love it. You should, if you are the type of person that wants to flash off your ring, flash off your ring. If you're not, then don't. You know, I mean, just here to say, like, let's be done with the stigma of engagement rings, and that's it.
That's it.
I guess I have to do unsolicited advice. We ain't doing that. It's a mini episode.
Yeah.
But we will shout out a wedding vendor.
We will?
If you want to.
Sure.
I'm always here for doing that.
Oh, yeah.
At the very least.
You know, I'm just
I mean, I feel like this whole episode was unsolicited advice, so. So, check that box. But we'll get into some Black wedding vendor shout outs, because, you know, we're always here to pay it forward to the good Black men and women that are out here doing the hashtag work, which is planning weddings in Atlanta and beyond. And I really mean beyond. I didn't mean to say Atlanta. I be trying not to always do Atlanta based, but it sometimes just be like that.
Understandable.
So I'll go first.
Yes, please.
While you find one. Because that's exactly what's going on right now. I would like to shout out a wedding vendor that I think does good work, right? She is a photographer. I think I noticed her work a few years ago, 2017, 2018, 20. It's a minute. Anyway, I'm always here to just kind of like find great Black vendors, right? So my photographer's name is Elizabeth Austin. She is a photographer. She used to be, she had another name. I can't remember what it was, but she changed this year to Elizabeth Austin Photography. She's a traveling photographer. So she, I think her home is North Carolina, but she is everywhere. Like, I feel as if in the last 2-3 months, she's done several destination weddings. She's done a lot of weddings in Atlanta, but she does weddings everywhere. So, Elizabeth Austin Photography. I think that's her Instagram. Yeah, Elizabeth Austin Photo is her IG, but her website is elizabethaustinphotography.com.
Okay. All right. So I have one. His name is Jay Green. He is based out of Atlanta. However, I think he travels. He is a videographer. He is a filmmaker, and he is a director. He recently did one of the weddings that I was in recently.
Oh, nice.
He usually doesn't do weddings. However, off of that one wedding that he did, I think he was able to book like 3 or 4 weddings. So he is up and coming in the wedding industry. He does, music videos and commercials or stuff like that for other people. Anyways, you can find him on Instagram at NoStevieJustJ. You can find him NoStevieJustJ.com. And that's his website. Okay. So please check him out. And as I said before, he's up and coming in the wedding industry. But I wanted to go ahead and shout him out. Send him some business.
That's what's up. Well, thank you for listening to this somewhat of a mini episode.
Yes.
Where we just talked about rings. Got this off our hearts and our minds.
No, but this was a good conversation,
I think so too. And I mean, follow us on all the places and let us know what you think as well. Like, we're on Instagram, Hue I Do Wed, Twitter as well, and Facebook, Hue I Do Wed. And on, send us an email if you want to. You don't have to, but send us an email at hueidowed@gmail.com or go to our website, hueido.com. But yeah, I mean, not even to say like rate, review, all that stuff. You know what? Tell us how you like this episode. Tell us what you're thinking about. Like, do you agree with us in terms of like the ring stuff? Because let us know. Like, we don't want to be out here saying one thing if everybody else feels another way. But also, representation does matter. Somebody out there feels the same way we do, I'm sure. But hopefully we all grow into a mature space where we all just love each other and appreciate the relationships and the growth that we're all going through, and we're not judging them on a piece of jewelry because that jewelry is not tied into love.
Very true.
Or the amount of love. So.
And then also, if you have a question or if you need some advice on a particular topic that you're dealing with, wedding related, that is, please shoot us an email or hit us up on Instagram. And if we are talking to an expert, you know, we can definitely ask them that question so you can get that answered. I believe a couple of weeks ago we had a question from a listener in regards to how to represent someone who passed away in the wedding. And we talked to two individuals who, you know, explained how they represented that family member or that friend.
Sandy and Kareem.
Yes. In their wedding, you know. So please shoot us questions, or, you know, if you want to tell us your story, let us know. You know, you don't have to be on the podcast, but, you know, if you want to tell your story via an email, go ahead and do that.
Yep. So
I think that's it.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right. Bye.
Bye.